Tonight, let your thoughts become quiet. There is nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to remember. For a little while, you can simply listen and slowly travel backward through time, past the cities, past the roads and lights, past the farms and forests that we know today, past the age of humans, past the familiar world of mammals, and farther still, until the earth beneath you becomes a very different earth. Imagine that the clock of history is turning backward 1 million years, 10 million, 50 million, 60 million, and now you are standing approximately 66 million years ago. The world is warm. The air is heavy with moisture. Great forests stretch across enormous distances. There are no highways, no buildings, no airplanes crossing the sky, no human voices. Instead, there is the soft movement of leaves, the distant calls of animals, the quiet rustling of plants, and beneath everything, the ancient rhythm of the planet. This is the late Cretaceous world, a world that has existed for millions of years without knowing that anything is about to change. Dinosaurs are everywhere, not just the enormous creatures that appear in our imaginations, but thousands of different kinds of animals, each living its own small life. Some walk on 2 legs, some on 4, some carry horns, some have long tails, some are covered with feathers, some are armored, some are enormous, others are no larger than a modern bird. And while we often think of dinosaurs as belonging to one single age, their world is actually filled with remarkable variety. Picture a broad plain beneath a warm morning sky. The sunlight spreads gently across the vegetation. Tall plants sway in a light breeze. Nearby, a herd of herbivorous dinosaurs moves slowly through the landscape. They are not rushing. There is no reason to. For them, this is simply another morning. They search for leaves. They move from one patch of vegetation to another. Young animals stay close to adults. And somewhere beyond the trees, a predator is also beginning its day. The great hunters of the Cretaceous are not monsters in the way ancient stories might imagine them. They are animals, living beings shaped by millions of years of evolution. They need food. They need water. They need shelter. They need to survive, just as every creature has needed to survive throughout the long history of Earth. And around them is an entire community of life. Insects move among flowers. Small reptiles slip between stones. Tiny mammals hide beneath vegetation. Bird-like dinosaurs move through the undergrowth. Plants absorb sunlight. Roots spread through the soil. Rivers carry water across the land. The planet is alive from the surface down into the soil. And above it all, the sky is changing slowly. Clouds drift over a world that has no idea what is coming. If you could stand there quietly, without disturbing anything, you might notice something beautiful. There is no sense of an ending, no warning written across the sky, no sound announcing the future. The world simply continues. Morning becomes afternoon. Afternoon becomes evening. The sun lowers toward the horizon. Shadows stretch across the ground. And another day passes. Another ordinary day in a world that has already lasted for an incredibly long time. The dinosaurs have been here for more than 150 million years. Their ancestors appeared long before this moment. Generation after generation has lived and died. Forests have grown. Rivers have moved. Mountains have risen and worn away. Seas have advanced and retreated. Continents have slowly shifted. And through all of it, dinosaurs continued. They adapted. They changed. They diversified. They became part of the planet itself. It is difficult for us to imagine such a long existence. Human history occupies only a tiny fragment of Earth's story. Even the oldest civilizations are recent. Even our species is recent. But the dinosaurs had already been living through ages of change before anything resembling a human being existed. And now, near the end of the Cretaceous, they were still here, still walking, still hunting, still nesting, still laying eggs, still raising young, still evolving. Life was not preparing to end. Life was simply living. And perhaps that is the most important thing to remember as we begin this journey. The dinosaurs did not know they were living near the end of their era. There was no final chapter visible to them. There was only the present, a warm breeze, the taste of leaves, the sound of distant animals, the movement of clouds, the changing light, a nest hidden beneath vegetation, a young dinosaur following its parent, a river flowing quietly toward the sea, and millions of individual lives, each experiencing their own small moment, far above the atmosphere. However, something was already moving, something incredibly small compared with the Earth. A rocky body traveling through the darkness of space. It had no intention, no purpose, no understanding. It was simply following the laws of physics. For millions of years, it had been traveling, and slowly, almost unimaginably slowly, its path was bringing it toward Earth. But for now, the dinosaurs knew nothing about it. The forests remained green. The oceans remained blue. The continents continued their slow movement. The sun continued to rise. And somewhere beneath the warm Cretaceous sky, a dinosaur lifted its head. Perhaps it heard something in the distance. Perhaps it was only reacting to another animal. Then it lowered its head again and continued walking. The day continued. The world continued. And for one more moment, everything was exactly as it had always been. So as you settle deeper into sleep, let yourself remain in this ancient world for a while. Listen to the imaginary rustling of the leaves, the distant calls, the gentle movement of warm air. Imagine walking slowly beside an ancient river, with no roads, no buildings, no clocks, only Earth, a living Earth, an Earth ruled by deep time, an Earth where the dinosaurs were not legends, but simply animals living their lives. And above them, quietly crossing the darkness, the asteroid was coming, but not yet. For now, there is only the morning, only the forest, only the warm air, only the ancient Earth, breathing beneath the sky, and the story has only just begun. The ancient morning slowly becomes afternoon. The sun climbs higher above the Cretaceous landscape. Warm air moves gently through the forests. Leaves tremble, branches sway, and beneath them, life continues in every direction. If you could somehow see the entire planet from above, you would discover that the world of the dinosaurs is much larger and more varied than any single landscape could show. There are forests stretching toward distant horizons, wide rivers carrying sediment toward ancient seas, swamps filled with plants, open plains, coastal regions, mountain ranges, shallow oceans, and islands scattered across warm seas. The continents are not arranged as they are today. Earth is still in the process of changing. North America is divided by a great inland sea. Europe is a collection of islands. India is moving northward across the ancient ocean. South America is gradually separating from Africa. Australia is beginning its long journey toward its modern position. And everywhere, life is responding to its surroundings. Imagine walking slowly through one of these ancient forests. The ground beneath your feet would feel unfamiliar. There would be no grass-covered lawns like those we know today. Grasses existed, but they were not yet the dominant landscape plants they would become much later. Instead, the world is filled with ferns, conifers, cycads, flowering plants, and many other ancient forms of vegetation. The forest floor is alive with small movements. Insects crawl beneath fallen leaves. Tiny creatures search for food. Small mammals remain close to shelter. Lizards disappear between roots. And above them, large animals move through the trees. Some dinosaurs are enormous, but size alone does not define their world. There are tiny dinosaurs too. Some are feathered. Some may climb. Some move quickly through the undergrowth. Some are hunters. Others feed on plants. The word dinosaur describes a vast family of animals. It is almost like describing all modern mammals with one word. A mouse and an elephant are both mammals, but their lives are completely different. In the same way, a tiny feathered dinosaur and a giant plant-eating dinosaur may share ancient ancestry while living in completely different ways. And perhaps one of the most surprising things about the Cretaceous world is how familiar some of it might feel. There are birds. There are flowers. There are bees and butterflies. There are turtles. Crocodile relatives move through rivers. Small mammals live quietly beneath the larger world. The basic patterns of life, feeding, resting, hiding, hunting, growing, reproducing, are already deeply established. Earth is not a strange alien planet. It is our planet, just much older, much warmer in many regions, and inhabited by animals we can only imagine. Now imagine a large herd moving across an open landscape. Their footsteps are slow, heavy, steady. Each step presses into the soft ground. Dust rises gently. The herd moves together. Young animals remain protected in the middle. Adults feed as they travel. They have no idea that humans will one day uncover their bones, assemble their skeletons, and wonder what their lives were like. To the dinosaurs themselves, there is nothing mysterious about being alive. They are simply alive. They experience hunger. They experience fatigue. They react to danger. They search for food. They care for their young in ways that vary from species to species. Some build nests. Some guard eggs. Some gather in groups. Some may live solitary lives. The Cretaceous world is not silent. It is filled with sound. A distant call travels across the trees. Another answers. Branches crack beneath heavy footsteps. Water moves over stones. Wings beat through warm air. Insects hum among flowering plants. The forest has its own ancient music. And if you could sit quietly beside a river, you might begin to forget the modern world entirely. There would be no notifications, no traffic, no screens, no deadlines. Only the slow movement of water. Only the sound of leaves. Only the distant presence of creatures that have been extinct for millions of years. Perhaps a dinosaur would appear between the trees. You would see it for only a moment. Then it would disappear again, and the forest would continue as though nothing unusual had happened. Because for the forest, nothing unusual has happened. This is normal. This is everyday life. The dinosaurs have been living here for ages, and their world is changing all the time. Species appear, species disappear, climates shift, seas move, mountains change, volcanoes erupt, plants evolve, predators adapt, prey adapt. Nothing in nature stays exactly the same. Yet change usually happens slowly. So slowly that individual animals cannot notice the larger transformation. A forest can change over thousands of years. A coastline can move. A climate can warm or cool. A species can gradually become another form. But the creatures living through those changes experience only their own small lives. A single dinosaur is born. It grows. It searches for food. It finds a mate. Perhaps it raises young. Eventually it dies, and another generation takes its place. The cycle continues, generation after generation, for millions of years. This is how life has always moved through time, not as one great event, but as countless small lives. And among those lives are creatures whose descendants will eventually become some of the most recognizable animals on Earth. The birds. Because birds are living dinosaurs. Their ancestors survived the Great Extinction at the end of the Cretaceous. So when you hear a bird singing today, you can think of it as a distant continuation of this ancient story. The dinosaurs did not completely vanish. One branch survived. Small, feathered, adaptable, quiet. And from that surviving branch came the enormous variety of birds that would later spread across the planet. But none of this is visible yet. The future is still hidden. For the creatures of this ancient afternoon, there is only the present. A young animal explores near its nest. A predator waits patiently. A herd moves slowly toward water. Flowers open in the sunlight. Insects move between them. The river continues toward the sea. And overhead, clouds drift through a blue sky. Far away, the asteroid continues its journey. Still invisible, still silent, still approaching. The distance between it and Earth becomes smaller, not by much, but enough. Hour after hour, day after day, the planet continues turning beneath it. The moon continues circling Earth. The sun continues shining. And somewhere on this living planet, a dinosaur sleeps. It has no reason to fear tomorrow. Tomorrow is simply another day, another sunrise, another search for food, another quiet movement through the forest, another ordinary moment in an extraordinary world. So let yourself imagine that world now. Imagine the warmth, the green vegetation, the distant calls, the slow footsteps, the ancient river, the enormous sky, and the deep silence between every sound. You are traveling through a world that existed long before you, and will leave behind clues that humans will discover millions of years later. Bones beneath stone, footprints preserved in ancient mud, eggs turned to fossils, leaves trapped in rock, tiny fragments of feathers, and perhaps, in those fossils, we can almost hear the echo of a world that once seemed endless. A world of giants, a world of small creatures, a world of forests and oceans, a world that had survived countless changes, a world that had no idea that its story was approaching a turning point. For now, the afternoon light begins to soften. The shadows become longer. The forest grows quieter. And another ancient day slowly moves toward evening. The dinosaurs continue living. The earth continues turning. And far above, through the cold darkness of space, The asteroid continues coming, closer and closer, but still, the ancient world sleeps peacefully beneath the stars. Morning comes gently to the ancient earth. The darkness fades. The first light appears along the horizon. A soft glow touches the tops of trees. Mist rests above rivers. And one by one, the sounds of life begin. Insects stir. Small animals leave their shelters. Birds and other feathered dinosaurs move through the vegetation. Somewhere nearby, a young dinosaur wakes beside its nest. There is nothing unusual about this morning. It is simply another morning, another beginning, another day in a world that has existed for an almost unimaginable length of time. The sun rises. Light spreads across the landscape, and the earth turns beneath it. If you were standing there, you might look toward the horizon and see a familiar-looking sunrise. The same sun that rises today. The same basic rhythm of light and darkness. Only the landscape is different. The continents are different. The animals are different. The air carries the scent of ancient plants. And the ground beneath you has not yet become the fossil record. It is still soft, still alive, still part of the world. Imagine a broad coastal plain. The vegetation is thick. Trees stand scattered across the landscape. Small streams wind between patches of forest. In the distance, larger animals begin moving. A herd of herbivorous dinosaurs slowly approaches a feeding ground. They have done this many times. There is no reason to hurry. They have learned where food can be found. They know the landscape. They know the paths between water and vegetation. Their lives are shaped by seasons, weather, food, and instinct. A young animal stays close to the adults. It follows their movements. When they stop, it stops. When they begin walking, it walks too. For this young dinosaur, the world is safe enough to explore. Its entire experience of existence fits inside this landscape. It does not know about millions of years. It does not know about extinction. It does not know about fossils. It knows only the world around it. The warmth of the morning, the movement of its family, the taste of plants, the sounds of distant animals, and the changing light. Nearby, a predator moves quietly through vegetation. It does not roar for dramatic effect. It simply moves, carefully, patiently. Its senses are focused. Every living thing in this world is part of an enormous network. Plants feed herbivores. Herbivores feed predators. Scavengers clean what remains. Insects break down organic material. Microorganisms return nutrients to the soil. Nothing exists completely alone. Every creature is connected. Every forest is connected to its river. Every river is connected to its sea. Every plant is connected to the atmosphere. And every animal is connected to the food web around it. The ancient world is busy, but not frantic. Life moves at its own pace. Now imagine walking toward the coast. The air becomes cooler. The vegetation changes. You can hear water. A broad, ancient sea stretches toward the horizon. Its waves move gently against the shore. Marine reptiles pass beneath the surface. Fish travel through the shallows. Tiny organisms drift in the water. And above the sea, flying creatures cross the sky. The Cretaceous oceans are alive with their own ecosystems. Life has spread into almost every available environment. The planet is rich, diverse, full. There are creatures in the forests, creatures in the rivers, creatures in the oceans, creatures beneath the soil, creatures moving through the air. And still, the dinosaurs remain one of the dominant groups on land. They have survived for an extraordinary length of time. They have lived through changes in climate. They have lived through volcanic activity. They have lived through changes in sea level. They have survived the appearance and disappearance of countless species. The world has changed around them, and they have changed with it. So if you were a dinosaur living on this morning, you would have no reason to think that your world was ending. There is no warning, no prophecy, no countdown, no voice telling you that this is the last morning. That is one of the strange things about history. The people and animals living through an ending rarely know that it is an ending. For them, it is simply another moment. A mother watches her young. A predator searches for food. A bird-like dinosaur moves through the trees. A herd gathers near water. Plants open toward the sunlight. Clouds move overhead. And life continues. Meanwhile, far above the atmosphere, the asteroid continues approaching. It is traveling at enormous speed. Its journey has already lasted for an unimaginably long time. It began somewhere in the solar system. Perhaps after a collision or gravitational disturbance changed its orbit. Eventually, its path intersected with Earth's. The meeting was inevitable once the trajectories aligned. But nothing about it is intentional. The asteroid does not choose Earth. It does not know Earth exists. It does not know dinosaurs exist. It does not know that an intelligent species will one day study its impact. It is simply a piece of cosmic material following a path through space. And Earth, moving through its own orbit, is traveling toward the same point. Two paths are converging, slowly, quietly, without sound. Back on Earth, the morning continues. Perhaps rain falls somewhere. Perhaps sunlight shines elsewhere. Perhaps a dinosaur walks beside a river. Perhaps a small mammal hides beneath roots. Perhaps an insect lands on a flower. Perhaps a bird-like creature calls from a branch. Everywhere, life is doing what life has always done, living. And this is what makes the coming events so extraordinary. The Earth itself will survive. The sun will continue shining. The oceans will remain. The mountains will remain. The laws of physics will remain. But the biological world will change dramatically. The familiar Cretaceous ecosystems will disappear. Many species will vanish. And those that survive will inherit a changed planet. But that is still in the future. For now, the ancient world is peaceful. The morning is becoming brighter. The shadows retreat beneath the trees. Warm sunlight touches the ground. A river reflects the sky. And somewhere in the distance, a dinosaur makes a quiet call. Another answers. Then another. For a few moments, the landscape seems almost timeless, as though this morning could continue forever. But nothing on Earth continues forever. Not forests, not species, not mountains, not oceans, not even continents. Everything changes, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly, and sometimes the change arrives from beyond the world itself. The asteroid is getting closer. The distance is shrinking. The ancient Earth continues spinning. The moon continues its orbit. The sun continues its quiet journey across the sky. And the dinosaurs continue their ordinary lives. They feed. They walk. They rest. They protect their young. They search for water. They move through forests that will one day become rock. They leave footprints that will eventually disappear. And yet, some footprints will remain. Millions of years later, humans will discover them. We will place our hands beside them. We will measure their size. We will wonder about the animals that made them. We will reconstruct skeletons from scattered bones. And we will ask the same question again and again. What happened? How did such a powerful group of animals disappear? The answer begins with a quiet morning, not with a roar, not with a dramatic warning, just sunlight, trees, water, and animals living as they had lived for generations. The final ordinary morning of the dinosaurs. A morning that felt completely normal, until the sky changed. But that moment has not arrived yet. For now, close your eyes. Let the ancient forest become softer. Let the distant calls fade into the background. Imagine the warm breeze moving gently through the leaves. Imagine the river flowing without hurry. Imagine the young dinosaurs settling beside their parents. And above them, imagine a clear blue sky, a sky that appears completely peaceful, a sky that hides what is coming. Far beyond the blue, the darkness of space is approaching. And within that darkness, a small world-changing object is moving toward Earth. Closer and closer and closer. But the dinosaurs do not know. The forest does not know. The rivers do not know. The oceans do not know. The planet simply turns beneath the morning sun. And for one last peaceful moment, the Cretaceous world remains exactly as it has always been. Far above the blue atmosphere, there is no sound, no wind, no thunder, no birds, no rustling leaves, only darkness. The darkness between worlds. Stars shine in every direction. The sun is bright. And through this enormous emptiness, a rocky object is moving. It is not glowing like a fantasy comet. It does not announce itself. It simply travels, a piece of the solar system, moving through space. For millions of years, it has been part of a cosmic journey. Perhaps it began among countless other rocky bodies. Perhaps gravitational interactions slowly changed its path. One small alteration, followed by another, until its orbit eventually brought it toward Earth's neighborhood. The solar system is not perfectly still. Everything is moving. Planets orbit stars. Moons orbit planets. Asteroids cross enormous distances. Comets travel on long, looping paths. Gravity is constantly guiding and changing these trajectories. And sometimes, two paths meet. The asteroid continues forward. Earth is ahead. At first, the planet is only a tiny point. Blue, white, beautiful. A small world surrounded by darkness. The asteroid does not see it. It cannot see. It simply follows its trajectory. But from our perspective, we know what is coming. The object is enormous by human standards. Several kilometers across. Large enough that the energy released when it reaches Earth will be beyond anything humans have ever experienced. Yet compared with Earth, it is still small. The planet is thousands of kilometers across. The asteroid is only a fragment of that size. And still, size is not the most important thing. Speed matters. Mass matters. Energy matters. And when a large object moving at extraordinary speed meets a planet, the consequences can spread far beyond the immediate impact site. But before that happens, the asteroid crosses the final stretches of its journey. Imagine looking back toward Earth from space. The planet becomes larger. The blue atmosphere becomes visible. Clouds swirl above the oceans. Continents slowly emerge. The Earth looks peaceful. It looks almost fragile. There is nothing about its appearance that suggests an approaching catastrophe. The oceans are shining. The atmosphere is glowing faintly. Cloud systems move across the surface. Somewhere below those clouds, dinosaurs are walking. Forests are growing. Rivers are flowing. The planet is full of life. The asteroid continues downward. Earth's gravity begins pulling it more strongly. Its speed increases. The atmosphere is still ahead, a thin layer of gas surrounding a massive planet. From space, the atmosphere appears delicate, but it is enough to create enormous resistance. As the asteroid enters the upper atmosphere, the surrounding air becomes compressed. The air heats rapidly. The object begins interacting violently with the atmosphere. A brilliant trail forms. For the first time, something extraordinary appears in Earth's sky. Not a sunrise, not lightning, not a cloud. Something moving faster than anything the animals below have ever experienced. Imagine standing beneath the Cretaceous sky. You look upward. Perhaps at first you see something bright, something unusual, a streak, a flash, a growing light. You would have no understanding of what it is. There is no scientific vocabulary for it, no astronomy textbooks, no observatories, no satellites, no humans, only animals watching a sky that has suddenly become strange. The object continues downward. The brightness increases. The energy becomes greater. And now, the distance between Earth and the asteroid is almost gone. Millions of years of cosmic motion have brought everything to this one moment. A world that has existed for billions of years, and an object that has traveled through space, are about to meet. The asteroid enters deeper into the atmosphere. The air becomes denser. The surrounding material becomes intensely heated. The object itself begins to break and transform. The sky becomes extraordinarily bright. Across a huge region, daylight is suddenly overwhelmed by a flash. The ground receives the light. The atmosphere responds. The world is no longer experiencing an ordinary morning. It is experiencing an event unlike anything in the lives of the dinosaurs. The asteroid reaches the surface, and then Earth changes. The impact occurs near what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. But 66 million years ago, there is no Mexico, no cities, no borders, no roads, only ancient rocks, shallow seas, coastal environments, and the living world of the Cretaceous. The impact releases an almost unimaginable amount of energy. Rock is shattered. Material is vaporized. A crater forms. Shock waves travel outward. The surrounding landscape is transformed in moments. The ocean and atmosphere respond. Dust and debris are thrown high above the surface. Material rises into the sky, far beyond the ordinary clouds, and the effects do not remain near the impact site. That is the important part. The Earth is connected. The atmosphere connects distant regions. The oceans connect continents. Wind moves material across enormous distances. The climate system links the entire planet. So an event occurring in one location can affect life thousands of kilometers away. The first moments are violent, but the extinction is not simply one moment. It becomes a process, a sequence of environmental changes. Darkness, cooling, fire, disrupted ecosystems, changing chemistry, food shortages, and eventually, a massive loss of biodiversity. Yet the dinosaurs standing beneath the sky do not understand any of this. They cannot see the future. They experience only what happens around them. A sudden flash, a shock, a rapidly changing environment. The world they know begins to disappear. And while the largest animals may seem like the most important part of this story, some of the smallest creatures will become extremely important. Animals living underground, animals sheltered in water, animals that can eat many different foods, animals that can survive with less energy, plants that can remain dormant, seeds, spores, insects, small mammals, birds. These survivors will become the foundation of the future. But for now, the planet is entering darkness. The dust and material released by the impact begins spreading through the atmosphere. Sunlight becomes blocked. The world grows dimmer. Temperatures begin to fall. Plants that depend on sunlight face a new problem. Photosynthesis slows. Then ecosystems begin feeling the consequences. Plants cannot grow normally. Herbivores lose food. Predators lose prey. The food web begins to weaken. And because ecosystems are connected, the effects multiply. A plant disappears. An herbivore struggles. A predator loses food. A scavenger searches farther. An entire ecosystem becomes unstable. This is not simply the story of an asteroid hitting Earth. It is the story of what happens when the foundation of a living system is suddenly disrupted. The dinosaurs had survived for more than 150 million years. They had endured countless ordinary changes. But this event is different. The environment changes faster than many species can adapt. The world becomes colder, darker, more difficult, and the age of dinosaurs begins its long ending. Yet even now, life does not stop. Life is remarkably persistent. Some organisms survive. Some hide. Some wait. Some change their behavior. Some consume what remains. And some simply endure. Beneath the surface, small animals continue moving through darkness. Inside protected nests and burrows, life waits. In rivers, aquatic organisms continue to live. In the soil, microbial communities continue their ancient work. And above the darkened planet, the moon continues to shine. The stars remain. The sun remains. Earth remains. The planet has not died. It has changed. And in the quiet aftermath, a new chapter is beginning. Not immediately, not easily, but slowly, very slowly, the survivors will begin rebuilding the living world. The dinosaurs are entering darkness, but life itself is not finished. It is only changing direction. And as you drift deeper into sleep, imagine the ancient earth beneath the darkened sky. The forests are quiet. The rivers continue flowing. The oceans continue moving. The stars remain above. And beneath the surface, small lives continue, waiting, enduring, surviving. Because even after the greatest changes, life has a remarkable habit. It continues, quietly, patiently, one generation at a time. For a long time, Earth had known darkness only as part of its natural rhythm. Night came, the sun disappeared, stars appeared, and then morning returned. But now, the darkness is different. This darkness is not simply night. It is the beginning of a planetary change. High above the surface, tiny particles and enormous quantities of debris have been spread through the atmosphere. They move with the winds. They travel across continents. They rise into regions where ordinary weather cannot easily remove them. Below, the world becomes dim. The sunlight weakens. Plants that once opened their leaves toward the morning sun receive less and less light. For a forest, this is a profound change. Plants live on sunlight. Through photosynthesis, they transform light energy into chemical energy. That energy becomes food. Food becomes leaves. Leaves feed herbivores. Herbivores support predators. And predators support scavengers. The entire system begins with sunlight. Now, the sunlight is fading. Imagine standing in a Cretaceous forest. The air is strangely quiet. The familiar brightness of the sky is gone. Everything seems muted. Leaves appear darker. The horizon disappears into haze. The temperature begins to fall. The warm world of the late Cretaceous is changing. Not everywhere at exactly the same time. Not in exactly the same way. But across the planet, conditions are becoming increasingly difficult. The animals do not understand why. A large herbivore searches for food. There is still vegetation. But over time, less new vegetation grows. Leaves become scarce. Plants struggle. Seeds become important. Roots remain underground. Some plants wait. Some die. And the animals that depend on them begin to feel the consequences. A herbivore eats, then searches for more, then travels farther. Eventually, there is not enough. A predator faces the same problem from another direction. If herbivores become fewer, predators lose their food. The food web begins collapsing from multiple levels. It is not one sudden disappearance. It is a long chain of shortages. One species struggles, then another, then another. The largest animals face particular challenges. Large bodies require enormous amounts of energy. A giant herbivore needs a great deal of vegetation. A large predator needs substantial prey. When food becomes scarce, being enormous can become a disadvantage. Smaller animals may survive on less. Animals that can eat many different things have an advantage. Animals that can shelter underground have an advantage. Animals that can enter periods of reduced activity may have an advantage. The survivors are not necessarily the strongest. They are not necessarily the fastest. They are simply the ones whose biology happens to fit the new conditions. This is one of the quiet lessons of evolution. There is no universal winner. A species survives because its characteristics work within a particular environment. Change the environment, and the balance changes. For millions of years, the dinosaurs had been extraordinarily successful. Now, the world is asking a completely different question. Can they survive without the ecosystems that supported them? Some can. Many cannot. The darkness continues. The planet cools. At the surface, temperatures become much lower than the dinosaurs are accustomed to. The warm Cretaceous climate has been disrupted. The seasons become strange. The usual patterns of life are interrupted. But even in this difficult period, the planet is still beautiful. The oceans still move. The clouds still form. The moon still crosses the night sky. Stars still shine above the atmosphere. And the Earth continues rotating. Imagine the planet from space. A blue world surrounded by darkness. The continents are still there. The oceans still cover much of the surface. Clouds drift slowly. There is no visible sign that the future has changed forever. Yet beneath those clouds, ecosystems are being transformed. The extinction unfolds across time. Species disappear. Populations shrink. Habitats become empty. The great dinosaurs that once dominated many landscapes become increasingly rare. Their footprints become fewer. Their calls become less common. Their nests are left empty. And eventually, the world enters a silence it has not known for more than 100 million years. But it is important to remember, this was not the end of all dinosaurs. One branch survives. The birds, small feathered dinosaurs with specialized bodies. Some could fly. Some could move quickly. Some could eat seeds. Others had flexible diets. Their small size and ecological variety would help some lineages survive the catastrophe. And while the great dinosaurs are disappearing, these smaller relatives continue. Perhaps beneath the darkened sky, a bird-like dinosaur searches for food. Perhaps it finds a seed. Perhaps it hides among vegetation. Perhaps it waits. The world has become difficult, but survival is still possible. Elsewhere, small mammals move through burrows. They are not yet the dominant animals of the planet. They do not resemble the mammals we know today. They are small, often secretive, living in the shadows of a world dominated by dinosaurs. But now, the shadows may become their refuge. Underground shelters provide protection. Small bodies require less food. Some mammals can eat insects. Some can eat seeds. Some can survive on a variety of resources. And as the larger food webs collapse, flexibility becomes valuable. The same is true for many reptiles. Crocodilians survive in aquatic environments. Turtles survive. Insects survive. Fish survive. Amphibians survive in many regions. Plants survive through seeds and roots. Life does not disappear. It reorganizes. This is perhaps the strangest part of extinction. An extinction does not erase life. It changes which forms of life are able to continue. The earth becomes a place of survivors, and survivors become ancestors. A tiny animal living quietly in a burrow may have descendants millions of years later that become much larger. A small bird surviving the darkness may eventually give rise to thousands of species. A plant surviving through seeds may spread across landscapes once occupied by dinosaurs. The future is being built from small survivors, but they do not know this. They are simply trying to live. The darkness slowly begins to change. Not immediately, not dramatically, but gradually. Particles settle. The atmosphere begins clearing. Sunlight starts returning. The world is still damaged. The ecosystems are still fragile. But the first step toward recovery has begun. The sun rises again, and for the first time in a long while, its light reaches the surface more clearly. Imagine that sunrise. The same sun, the same star that has illuminated Earth for billions of years. It rises above a changed planet. Forests are thinner. Many animals are gone. The familiar sounds of the Cretaceous have faded. But the light is back. And wherever there is light, there is possibility. Plants begin growing again. Seeds germinate. Insects return. Small animals emerge. The surviving ecosystems begin to rebuild. Slowly, patiently, one generation at a time. There is no sudden replacement, no instant new world. Instead, there is recovery. The Earth begins another chapter. The age of dinosaurs is ending, but the age of mammals is only beginning. And the story of life, which started billions of years before the dinosaurs, continues forward, quietly, patiently, without ever needing to know where it is going. So as you rest, imagine that first clearer sunrise after the darkness. Warm light touching ancient soil, tiny plants emerging, a small animal moving cautiously through the vegetation, a surviving bird crossing the pale morning sky. The world is quieter now, but it is alive, still alive. And sometimes, that is enough, because after an ending, there is always the possibility of another beginning. The earth is still turning. Day becomes night. Night becomes day. But the world is no longer the world it was. The great event has passed. The asteroid is gone. The crater remains. The shock waves have traveled outward. The skies have changed. And now, the planet enters a quieter phase. A phase of waiting. A phase of survival. A phase in which the smallest details of life begin to matter. Imagine the Earth from above. The atmosphere is still hazy. Sunlight struggles through the particles suspended high above the surface. The blue of the planet is softened. Clouds move slowly across the continents. The oceans remain vast and restless. But on land, many landscapes have become strangely quiet. For more than 100 million years, dinosaurs had filled these environments. Now, their voices are disappearing. Not all at once, not everywhere at the same moment, but gradually. Population after population becomes smaller. Some species disappear entirely. Others linger for a while. A few survive. The great herbivores face a difficult problem. Plants are the foundation of their lives. But plants need sunlight. With sunlight reduced, photosynthesis becomes more difficult. Some plants die. Others survive through seeds, roots, or underground structures. The landscape begins to change. A forest that once supported enormous herds can no longer provide enough food. The giant animals become increasingly vulnerable. Their size, once a powerful advantage, now demands more energy than the damaged ecosystem can provide. A smaller animal has different needs. It can hide. It can move quickly. It can survive on small amounts of food. It can wait. And waiting becomes important. In burrows beneath the ground, small mammals remain sheltered. The surface may be cold. Food may be scarce. But underground, temperatures are more stable. The soil provides protection. A burrow can become a tiny refuge in a changing world. Perhaps a small mammal wakes. It moves cautiously. It searches. An insect, a seed, a small piece of plant material. Anything edible becomes valuable. It does not know that the world above is changing forever. It does not know that its descendants may one day become enormous. It simply searches for enough food to survive another day. That is how evolution often begins. Not with ambition, not with a plan, but with survival. One generation lives, then another. Some characteristics help, others do not. Over enormous stretches of time, populations change. But for now, the process is almost invisible. The surviving animals are simply living. In rivers, another story unfolds. Aquatic environments can provide refuge during times of severe change. Water has different thermal properties than land. It changes temperature more slowly, and some food webs remain functional. Fish survive. Turtles survive. Crocodilians survive. Many aquatic organisms continue their ancient lives. A river flows beneath a quiet sky. The water carries leaves. Small creatures move beneath the surface. And for a moment, The ancient river looks almost unchanged. That is one of the strange things about mass extinction. Some places can appear peaceful even while enormous biological changes are happening. A river may still flow. A tree may still stand. A bird may still call. But the larger network around them has been transformed. The world is becoming emptier in some places and more open in others. Empty ecological spaces begin appearing. Places once occupied by giant herbivores. Places once occupied by large predators. Places once occupied by countless species. Nature does not leave those spaces empty forever. Eventually, new organisms will enter them. But that takes time. A very long time. Millions of years. For now, the planet is recovering. The sun grows stronger through the clearing atmosphere. Light reaches more of the surface. Plants begin returning. First come hardy species, fast-growing plants, plants capable of colonizing disturbed environments. Then insects begin increasing. With more plants, there is more food. With more insects, there is more food for insect-eating animals. The food web begins rebuilding itself from the bottom upward. It is a slow process, but ecosystems are resilient. Life has been rebuilding after disasters for billions of years. Long before dinosaurs existed, Earth experienced enormous changes. Oceans changed. Atmospheres changed. Continents moved. Volcanoes reshaped landscapes. Species disappeared. New species appeared. Life repeatedly found a way forward. And now, it is happening again. The extinction is not a single line. It is a transition, a boundary between two worlds. On one side, the late Cretaceous. On the other, the early Paleogene. The names are human inventions. The Earth does not know these names. The planet simply changes. A few years become decades. Decades become centuries. Centuries become thousands of years. And slowly, the landscape begins to look different. The climate changes. Plants diversify. Mammals begin expanding into habitats that were once dominated by dinosaurs. Birds diversify too. The surviving dinosaurs begin filling different ecological roles. The world becomes quieter in some ways, but more diverse in others. Imagine walking through a recovering forest. The enormous dinosaurs are gone. You do not hear the heavy footsteps of giant herbivores. You do not see enormous predators moving through the trees. Instead, you notice smaller creatures, tiny mammals, birds, insects, small reptiles. The forest floor is busy again. Seeds are scattered. Plants grow. Flowers attract insects. And the cycle of life begins to rebuild. Above the trees, a bird flies. That bird is a dinosaur. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, scientifically. A living dinosaur, a survivor of the ancient lineage. It flies over the recovering landscape, carrying a story that began more than 150 million years earlier. Its ancestors survived when most other dinosaurs did not. And now, it has a future that stretches across tens of millions of years. A future filled with feathers, wings, songs, migration, and extraordinary diversity. The great dinosaurs are gone, but their story is not finished. It has become smaller, lighter, quieter, and eventually, it will fill the sky. Meanwhile, the mammals are beginning their own expansion. For much of the Mesozoic, many mammals lived in the shadow of dinosaurs. They were often small, Many were nocturnal. Some lived underground. Some climbed. Some ate insects. Some ate plants. But they had been evolving quietly for more than 100 million years. The extinction removes many of the competitors that had dominated large terrestrial ecosystems. And suddenly, opportunities appear. Empty habitats, available food, open ecological roles. Mammals begin experimenting with new possibilities. Some become larger. Some develop new diets. Some become better climbers. Some return to water. Some eventually become capable of flight. Others evolve into forms that will one day become familiar to us. Primates, rodents, carnivores, ungulates, bats, whales, and eventually, humans. But that future is still unimaginably far away. For now, the Earth is simply recovering. The dinosaurs have disappeared from most of the land. The mammals are small and cautious. Birds move through the recovering forests. The oceans continue their ancient rhythms. And the sun shines upon a planet that has entered a new chapter. The darkness is fading. The silence is slowly filling. Not with the same sounds as before, but with new ones. New calls. New footsteps, new wings, new lives. The Earth has lost an enormous part of its biological history, but it has not lost its ability to create. And that may be one of the most peaceful truths in the entire story. Life does not move backward. It moves forward. It changes. It adapts. It branches. It begins again, and again, and again. So tonight, as you rest, imagine that ancient world beneath a clearing sky. The darkness is finally becoming lighter. Tiny plants cover the ground. A small mammal slips between roots. An insect moves across a leaf. A bird flies silently overhead. The river continues its journey toward the sea. And somewhere beneath the soil, roots are growing. Slowly, quietly, patiently. The planet is healing. Not quickly, not perfectly, but surely. And the great story of life continues. The dinosaurs are gone, but their descendants remain. The mammals are rising, but they have only just begun. And millions upon millions of years still lie ahead. For now, there is only the gentle light of morning, the quiet forest, the moving river, the soft sound of wings, and the earth turning peacefully beneath the stars. The morning light returns to the recovering earth. The sky is clearer now. The darkness that once covered the planet has slowly begun to fade. Sunlight reaches the ground again. Plants respond. Leaves unfold. Seeds germinate. And in the quiet spaces between roots and rocks, small animals begin to move. The great age of giants has ended, but the story of survival is only beginning. For a while, the planet feels strangely empty. Where enormous herds once moved, there are open landscapes. Where large predators once hunted, there are quiet forests. Where countless species once competed, there are gaps. But nature does not remain empty for long. Survivors begin spreading. They move into abandoned habitats. They explore places that were once occupied by animals much larger than themselves. And slowly, the shape of life begins to change. One of the most important groups is already moving through the recovering world. The mammals. They have been here all along. For more than 100 million years, mammals lived alongside dinosaurs, but they were usually small. Many were no larger than modern mice. Some were perhaps the size of small dogs. They lived beneath leaves, inside burrows, among tree roots, along riverbanks, in the shadows of forests. They were not the rulers of the planet, but they were survivors, and survival had given them something precious: time. Now, with many of the dominant dinosaurs gone, new opportunities appear. Imagine a small mammal emerging from a burrow. The world above is unfamiliar. There are fewer giant animals. The vegetation is beginning to return. Insects are becoming abundant again. Seeds are scattered across the soil. The animal moves cautiously. It smells the air. It listens. Then it begins searching for food. Perhaps it finds an insect. Perhaps a seed. Perhaps a piece of fruit. It carries the food back toward shelter. This small act may seem insignificant, but across millions of years, small acts like this shape entire evolutionary histories. The mammals begin to diversify. Some remain tiny. Others grow larger. Some become plant eaters. Some become predators. Some climb trees. Some dig. Some swim. Some eventually return to the ocean. And some develop extraordinary abilities: flight, echolocation, complex social behavior, large brains, flexible diets, long-distance movement. The mammal world begins opening like a tree with countless branches. But the birds are also changing. Remember, birds are dinosaurs. They are the surviving branch of the dinosaur family. The extinction did not erase them. It left a small group of survivors that could continue evolving. They begin filling empty ecological spaces. Some become ground-dwelling. Some live in forests. Some specialize in eating seeds. Others eat insects. Some become excellent flyers. Others become adapted to water. Over time, birds become incredibly diverse. The skies begin filling again, not with giant pterosaurs, which disappeared at the end of the Cretaceous, but with the descendants of feathered dinosaurs. Wings beat above the recovering forests. Calls echo between trees. Birds move along shorelines. Some migrate. Some hunt. Some feed on plants. Some build nests. Their bodies carry millions of years of evolutionary history. And every bird you see today, from a tiny songbird to a powerful eagle, is part of that ancient story. The dinosaur story did not end completely. It changed shape. It became smaller. It became lighter. It became airborne. And the planet begins to fill with them again. Meanwhile, other survivors are quietly thriving. Crocodilians, turtles, fish, insects, amphibians. Many of these groups had survived earlier crises too. They possessed body plans capable of enduring environmental changes. Some could live in water. Some could slow their metabolism. Some could survive on relatively little food. Some could eat almost anything. Survival often depends on flexibility. When the world changes, a specialist may struggle, but a generalist may have options. If one food disappears, another may remain. If one habitat becomes dangerous, another may offer shelter. If temperatures change, a burrow or body adaptation may help. Evolution has produced countless solutions to the problem of staying alive, and the survivors of the extinction carry some of those solutions forward. Imagine a river several years after the catastrophe. The water flows between banks lined with recovering plants. Fish move beneath the surface. Turtles rest in warm places. Crocodilians wait quietly. Insects return. Birds cross overhead. The river does not remember the impact. It does not remember the dinosaurs. It simply continues. Water moves downhill. Sediment settles. Plants grow. Animals feed. The cycle continues. Far away, another ecosystem is recovering. A forest. At first, the vegetation is low and scattered. Then shrubs appear. Then larger plants. Trees begin returning. Insects become more numerous. Pollinators spread. Small mammals explore. Birds nest among branches. A new ecosystem begins forming. It does not recreate the old world. It creates something different. This is an important idea. Recovery after extinction does not mean returning to the past. The Earth does not press a reset button. Instead, it creates a new combination of life. The survivors determine what comes next. A different group becomes abundant. A different plant dominates. A different predator appears. A different relationship develops between species. The future grows from whatever remains. And what remains may be surprisingly small. A seed, a burrow, a feather, an insect, a turtle, a bird, a small mammal. These ordinary survivors become the foundation of the future. Millions of years later, their descendants will look nothing like their ancestors. A tiny mammal may eventually become a whale. A small forest-dwelling animal may eventually become a primate. A feathered dinosaur may become an enormous variety of birds. Evolution can transform bodies dramatically, but the connection remains. Every generation inherits something from the previous generation. The story continues through DNA, through reproduction, through variation, through natural selection. Slowly, almost invisibly, life changes. Imagine time moving faster. Years pass, then thousands of years, then millions. The forests spread, the mammals diversify, birds fill the skies, the climate shifts, mountains rise, rivers change course, oceans move, new species appear, others disappear. The planet never stops changing. The extinction becomes deeper in the past. The asteroid crater slowly disappears beneath layers of sediment and geological change. Rain falls, rivers flow, plants grow, rocks weather, new landscapes cover old ones. The impact site becomes part of Earth's geological history. But life remembers in another way, not through conscious memory, but through ancestry. The survivors carry the future forward. A bird carries dinosaur ancestry. A mammal carries the history of ancient mammalian lineages. A tree carries the history of plants. An insect carries millions of generations of adaptation. The planet is filled with living threads connecting the present to the distant past. And eventually, one of those threads will lead to us. But not yet. There are still tens of millions of years ahead. The world must change many more times. New climates will come. New continents will form. New mountains will rise. New oceans will open. New species will appear. And somewhere along the way, mammals will begin becoming larger, more varied, more complex. Some will develop enormous bodies. Some will develop remarkable brains. Some will become social. Some will learn to manipulate their environments. Some will eventually walk upright. But all of that begins with the survivors, the small creatures that lived quietly after the darkness, the animals that had no idea what they were becoming. They did not know they were the future. They were simply alive. And perhaps that is the most beautiful part of the story. The future does not always begin with something grand. Sometimes, It begins with something small, a tiny animal beneath a leaf, a seed waiting beneath the soil, a bird flying through a recovering forest, a turtle moving slowly toward water, a small mammal returning to its burrow. Life does not need to know what comes next. It only needs to continue. So as you drift deeper into sleep, imagine that quiet, recovering earth. The sky is blue again. The sunlight is warm. The forest is slowly becoming green. Birds move through the branches. Small mammals explore beneath the leaves. The river flows peacefully, and beneath the soil, new roots spread into the darkness. The ancient world is gone, but a new world is growing. Slowly, quietly, patiently, time continues. The earth turns. The sun rises and sets. Rain falls on ancient forests. Rivers carve new paths. And the years become centuries. The centuries become thousands of years. Then millions. The extinction is becoming a distant memory in the rocks. Life has begun to rebuild. And now, something remarkable is happening. The mammals are changing. For more than 100 million years, mammals had lived beside dinosaurs, often quietly, often small, often hidden. But after the Great Extinction, the world opens. There are empty forests, empty plains, empty ecological roles, and evolution begins exploring them. Imagine an early morning in a forest millions of years after the asteroid. The landscape is green again. Birds move through the branches. Insects hum among flowering plants. And beneath the trees, small mammals are everywhere. Some have sharp teeth. Some eat leaves. Some search for fruit. Some hunt insects. Some climb. Some dig. Their bodies are becoming more varied. Their lives are becoming more specialized. One lineage becomes better suited to life in trees. Another remains on the ground. Another begins spending more time near water. Another develops powerful jaws for eating plants. Another becomes a predator. The mammal family tree begins expanding rapidly, not because evolution suddenly becomes faster in some magical way, but because opportunities are everywhere. Natural selection can work with variation that already exists. When environments change, different traits become useful. A body that once seemed ordinary may suddenly provide an advantage. A slightly larger body, better teeth, a different digestive system, stronger limbs, improved hearing, better eyesight, a more flexible diet. Generation after generation, these differences accumulate. Millions of years pass. The world becomes increasingly recognizable. Not yet modern, but moving in that direction. The continents continue drifting. The climate changes. Mountain ranges grow. Oceans shift. And mammals continue spreading. Some become enormous. Among them are early relatives of the animals we know today. There are strange hoofed creatures, ancient predators, tree-dwelling mammals, early primates, large herbivores, animals that will eventually give rise to horses, elephants, whales, bats, carnivores, and countless others. The planet becomes a great experiment. Every environment offers a challenge. Every challenge creates possibilities. And every successful adaptation becomes part of the story. One of the most extraordinary transformations happens in the oceans. The ancestors of whales begin as land mammals. At first, they are not whales. They have legs. They breathe air. They live on land. But over millions of years, Some members of this lineage become increasingly connected to water. They spend more time near rivers and coastlines. Their bodies change. Their limbs change. Their swimming abilities improve. Their nostrils gradually shift. Their bodies become better adapted to life in water. Generation by generation, a land mammal becomes something entirely different. Eventually, its descendants will become whales. Huge animals, larger than almost anything that lived during the age of dinosaurs. But their story begins with a much smaller creature, walking near water. Again, the future begins quietly. Elsewhere, another important lineage is developing: the primates. Small mammals adapted to life in trees. They have grasping hands, flexible fingers, forward-facing eyes, and increasingly complex brains. They move through branches. They search for fruit and insects. They learn to navigate complicated environments. They interact with one another. And over enormous periods of time, their descendants diversify. Monkeys appear, apes appear, and eventually, much later, humans appear. But before humans, there are countless other stages. The planet must travel through millions of years, and the Earth keeps changing. The forests change. The climate cools and warms. Grasslands expand. Some forests retreat. New predators evolve. New herbivores evolve. Mammals become increasingly specialized. The world is no longer dominated by giant dinosaurs. Instead, mammals occupy many of the roles once filled by them. Large herbivores walk across plains. Predators hunt them. Small mammals live beneath vegetation. Primates move through trees. Birds dominate the skies. Crocodilians remain near rivers. Reptiles continue their ancient stories. The world has become a mosaic of surviving lineages. And perhaps, if you were standing there, you might still recognize the basic feeling of Earth. There is sunlight. There are clouds. There is wind. There are forests. There are rivers. There are oceans. Life is still following the same ancient rhythms. Only the characters have changed. The extinction did not create a new planet. It created a new biological arrangement. The stage remained. The actors changed. And now, the mammals are becoming increasingly important. But the dinosaurs are not completely forgotten. Every bird flying overhead is a reminder. Feathers survived. Lightweight skeletons survived. Eggs survived. Flight survived. The dinosaur lineage survived. It simply took a new form. A sparrow, a hawk, an owl, a penguin, an ostrich, all are part of the dinosaur family tree. So even today, when you see a bird landing on a branch, you are looking at a living continuation of a story that began deep in the Mesozoic. A story that passed through the asteroid, through darkness, through extinction, through survival, and into the modern world. But there is still much more to come. The Earth continues changing. The mammals continue evolving. And eventually, the world will become colder. Ice will spread. Grasslands will expand. New ecosystems will appear. Large mammals will dominate many landscapes. And among the primates, a strange new lineage will begin walking across the ground. But that is still far away. For now, the world after the dinosaurs is young. The forests are filled with new mammals. Birds move through the trees. The oceans are becoming home to strange new giants. And the Earth continues its endless experiment. Millions of years pass, and the story grows. Slowly, quietly, patiently. Nothing rushes. Evolution does not need to hurry. There is time, almost unimaginable amounts of time. Enough time to transform a small mammal into a whale. Enough time to transform a feathered dinosaur into thousands of birds. Enough time to transform tree-dwelling primates into apes. Enough time to transform continents. Enough time to transform entire ecosystems. And eventually, enough time to produce a creature capable of looking backward and wondering what happened here. A creature capable of studying fossils. A creature capable of understanding extinction. A creature capable of asking, why did the dinosaurs disappear? That creature will be us. But not yet. For now, let the story slow down. Imagine a quiet forest after the extinction. The leaves move in the breeze. A small mammal climbs a branch. A bird calls from somewhere nearby. An insect passes through sunlight. Far away, a river flows toward the sea. The world feels peaceful. The dinosaurs are mostly gone. But life is everywhere. New life, old life, surviving life, changing life. And beneath the surface, the bones of the past are slowly becoming fossils. Layers of sediment settle above them. Time moves onward. The world forgets, but the rocks remember. And millions of years from now, someone will uncover those rocks. Someone will look at those bones. Someone will wonder about the animals that once walked across this planet. Someone will discover that the end of the dinosaurs was not simply an ending. It was also a beginning. A beginning for birds. A beginning for mammals. A beginning for new ecosystems. And eventually, a beginning for us. So rest now and imagine the ancient Earth turning quietly beneath the stars. The age of dinosaurs has passed. The age of mammals is growing. And the story of life continues. One quiet generation after another. Millions of years have passed since the Great Darkness. The Earth has changed again. The forests have shifted. The continents have moved. The climate has changed. And the small mammals that once lived quietly beneath the dinosaurs have begun to fill the world. Not all at once. Not with a single transformation. But slowly, branch by branch, generation by generation. The Earth is becoming a mammal world. Imagine walking through one of these ancient landscapes. The sunlight filters through tall trees. Birds move overhead. Insects hum among flowers. And beneath the branches, mammals move through the vegetation. Some are tiny. Some are already surprisingly large. Some eat plants. Some eat insects. Some hunt other animals. Others spend much of their lives in trees. The world is becoming more familiar, yet everything is still ancient. The mammals are experimenting with different ways of living. One group develops stronger teeth for grinding plants. Another develops sharp claws for climbing. Another becomes specialized for hunting. Another becomes better at running. Another spends more time in water. Each generation inherits the changes that help it survive. Over millions of years, these small differences accumulate, and eventually, new kinds of animals emerge. One of the most important developments is happening among the primates. These animals spend much of their time in trees. They move through branches. They reach for fruit. They catch insects. Their hands become excellent tools for gripping. Their eyes face forward, helping them judge distances between branches. And their brains become increasingly complex. Living in trees creates a challenging environment. Every movement requires balance. Every branch must be judged. Every leap must be calculated. A small mistake can be dangerous. So the ability to see clearly, remember locations, and coordinate movement becomes valuable. Over immense periods of time, these pressures help shape primate evolution. The story is slow, so slow that no individual animal can see it happening. A monkey does not wake up one morning and become something new. An ape does not suddenly appear. Instead, there are generations, thousands of generations, millions, tiny differences, small advantages, changes accumulating quietly. Evolution has no destination. There is no predetermined creature waiting at the end. The future depends on what happens along the way. Climate changes, food changes, predators change, habitats change, and populations respond. Sometimes they adapt, sometimes they move, sometimes they disappear, and sometimes they become something entirely new. The Earth itself is also changing. The continents continue drifting. Mountains rise. Oceans open. Seas disappear. Weather patterns shift. The climate becomes cooler in many regions. Grasslands begin spreading across areas that were once dominated by forests. This creates new opportunities. Animals that can run across open landscapes become increasingly important. Herbivores evolve longer legs. Teeth become adapted to new plants. Predators become better runners. The world begins filling with animals that look more familiar. Early relatives of horses, ancient rhinoceros-like animals, early elephants, primitive carnivores, and countless species that will eventually disappear. The planet is becoming a laboratory of mammalian evolution. But the old dinosaur world has not vanished completely. Birds remain, and birds continue to diversify. Some become enormous. Some become excellent flyers. Some become aquatic. Some become fast runners. The skies belong to them. The forests belong to them. The shorelines belong to them. They are everywhere. The surviving dinosaurs have made it through. Their lineage continues. And the Earth now contains two great stories: the rising mammals and the surviving dinosaurs. Both are changing. Both are evolving. Both are becoming more diverse. But eventually, one mammalian lineage will begin walking in a new way. Upright, on two legs. That change will take a very long time. Before it happens, there will be countless generations of primates. There will be apes. There will be forests. There will be climate shifts. There will be periods of cooling. There will be migrations. And there will be species that appear, flourish, and disappear. The future is still uncertain, but the path is beginning to narrow. Somewhere in Africa, millions of years from now, an ape will walk across open ground. Its hands will be free. Its eyes will look across the landscape. Its brain will be changing. Its descendants will eventually make tools, build shelters, control fire, create language, and look toward the night sky. But that is still far ahead. Ahead, for now, the primates remain creatures of the trees. Imagine one moving quietly through the canopy. Its fingers wrap around a branch. Its eyes scan the leaves. It pauses. A fruit hangs nearby. It reaches, takes it, and continues. Nothing dramatic, nothing historic. Yet that tiny movement belongs to a chain of events stretching all the way back through the age of dinosaurs. And further still, back through the first mammals, back through the first vertebrates, back through the first life, Every living thing is part of an enormous family tree. The branches are countless. Most have ended. A few continue. And every surviving branch carries some part of the ancient story. The dinosaurs carried their story into birds. The mammals carried theirs forward into many different forms. The primates carried theirs toward us. But there is something important to remember. Humans were never the goal. The Earth was not waiting for us. Evolution was not trying to produce intelligence. There was no plan, no destination. We are simply one branch that happened to emerge from countless previous branches, a consequence of billions of years of change. And that makes the story even more extraordinary, because the creatures living after the asteroid had no idea what the future would contain. A tiny mammal hiding beneath a tree could not know that one of its distant descendants would eventually stand beneath the same sun and discover its fossils. A small bird crossing an ancient forest could not know that its descendants would one day fly beside airplanes. A seed buried in the soil could not know that its descendants would become part of forests surrounding human cities. Life does not know the future. It simply continues. And the future grows from that continuation. Now, let time move forward again. Millions of years pass. The mammals become more diverse. The forests change. Grasslands spread. Predators become larger. Herbivores become larger. The earth becomes cooler. And the primates continue evolving. The world is preparing for another major chapter, the appearance of early hominins. But before we reach them, pause here. Imagine the planet from above. Blue oceans, green and brown continents, clouds drifting across the surface, birds moving through the air, mammals moving across forests and plains, rivers winding toward the sea. The asteroid impact is now unimaginably distant. The crater has been buried. The dinosaurs are gone from the land, but their descendants remain. And the mammals, once small creatures living in the shadows, have become one of the dominant forms of life on Earth. The great survivors have become the great explorers. They spread across continents. They adapt to deserts, forests, mountains, oceans, polar regions, and eventually, one lineage will begin exploring something even more unusual: the world of thought, memory, language, culture. But that future belongs to another chapter. For tonight, simply imagine the ancient forest, the soft sound of leaves, a small primate moving through branches, birdsong drifting across the canopy, warm sunlight touching the ground, and the slow movement of time, always moving forward. The dinosaurs disappeared, the mammals rose, and somewhere within the long story of mammals, our own distant beginning is waiting. Time moves forward again. Millions of years pass beneath the quiet sun. The world continues changing. Forests expand and retreat. Grasslands spread. Rivers change their paths. Mountains rise. Oceans shift. And the descendants of ancient mammals continue exploring the planet. Among them, the primates, small creatures living among branches, curious creatures, social creatures, animals with grasping hands and eyes adapted to judging distances between trees. For a very long time, the trees are their home, but the world does not stay the same. Climate changes. Forests become fragmented. Open landscapes become more common. Some primates begin spending more time on the ground. This does not happen overnight. It happens gradually. A few steps here, a little more time outside the trees, a new source of food, a changing environment, and across many generations, new ways of moving become useful. Some primates begin walking more often on two legs. The first steps are not human steps. These animals are not miniature humans. They are ancient apes and hominins with their own bodies, their own behaviors, their own worlds. But something important is changing. Their hands become increasingly free while walking. Their eyes look across open landscapes. Their brains continue changing. Their social lives become more complex. And the story of our lineage begins to separate from that of our closest living relatives. Still, we are very far from modern humans. There are no cities, no written language, no machines, no nations, no roads, no lights. There is only Africa. Millions of years ago, a warm landscape beneath an ancient sky. Imagine walking quietly across a grassy plain. The wind moves through the vegetation. Trees stand in scattered groups. Birds call from above. Small mammals move through the grass. Insects hover near flowers. And somewhere nearby, a group of early hominins moves slowly across the landscape. They are searching for food, perhaps fruit, perhaps roots, perhaps insects, perhaps small animals. They do not know they are part of a great evolutionary story. They are simply living. Their survival depends on cooperation, memory, observation, learning, and the ability to adapt. A young individual watches an adult. It learns where food can be found. It learns which places are dangerous. It learns how to move through the landscape. Knowledge can now pass from one generation to another through behavior. This becomes increasingly important because evolution does not happen only through bodies. Behavior matters too. Learning matters. Social relationships matter. And eventually, culture will matter. But the road toward culture is long. There will be many species, many experiments, many dead ends. Many branches of the human family tree will appear and disappear. Some will walk upright. Some will have larger brains. Some will make simple tools. Some will use fire. Some will travel beyond Africa. Some will live beside other human species. And eventually, one lineage will spread across almost the entire planet. But before all of that, there is a long quiet period. A period of walking, learning, finding food, raising children, moving with the seasons, and sleeping beneath the stars. The night sky must have been extraordinary. Without city lights, the stars would have filled the darkness. The Milky Way would have stretched across the sky. The moon would have risen above the horizon. And perhaps these early humans watched the same stars that our ancestors would watch hundreds of thousands of years later. The sky did not change very much. The observer did. This is one of the deepest connections between us and the ancient world. The same sun that warmed the dinosaurs also warmed early mammals and later warmed our ancestors. The same moon that rose over Cretaceous forests rose over early human camps. The same Earth that survived the asteroid became the Earth we inherited. We are not separate from the story. We are inside it. Our bodies contain atoms that were forged in ancient stars. Our cells carry DNA descended through billions of years of life. Our bones contain minerals that passed through countless organisms and geological cycles. We are made from the same planet that once supported dinosaurs. And now, the story is approaching us. But not yet. There are still many chapters. Early humans begin developing more sophisticated tools. Stone becomes useful. A sharp edge can cut. A stone can break. A tool can help process food. And tools can be improved. One generation can learn from another. A child can watch an adult. The child can imitate, then improve, then teach someone else. Knowledge begins accumulating. This is different from ordinary biological evolution. Genes change across generations, but culture can change within a single lifetime. A useful idea can spread quickly. A better tool can be copied. A new technique can travel between groups. The human lineage begins gaining a powerful new ability, the ability to reshape its own environment. And then, fire becomes increasingly important. Fire provides warmth, light, protection, and eventually, a way to cook food. The controlled use of fire changes human life. But fire is still far in the future for the earliest hominins. The story must continue slowly. There will be more species, more migrations, more changes, more experiments. The human family tree will branch again and again. Some branches will vanish. Others will continue. Eventually, members of our genus will appear. Homo. And much later, Homo sapiens. But tonight, we are still traveling backward through the ancient world. The asteroid that ended the age of dinosaurs is now tens of millions of years behind us. The great reptiles have become fossils. The mammals have transformed. The primates have transformed. And now, one small branch is beginning to walk across open ground. The first steps toward us. Think about how unlikely this journey is. For an asteroid to strike Earth, for some species to survive, for mammals to diversify, for primates to evolve, for certain populations to develop upright walking, for brains to change, for tools to appear, for language and culture to emerge. So many events had to occur, and none of them were guaranteed. The story could have been completely different. Perhaps another species might have become dominant. Perhaps our lineage might have disappeared. Perhaps the asteroid might have missed Earth. If the asteroid had missed, the world today could be unimaginably different. There may have been no humans. Or perhaps humans would have evolved anyway. We cannot know. History gives us one path, but evolution contains countless possibilities. The asteroid did not create humans directly. It simply changed the conditions under which life continued. It removed many dominant species. It opened ecological opportunities. And one of the many lineages that benefited was the mammalian lineage. From there, after tens of millions of years, came primates, then apes, then hominins, then us. A chain of events stretching across deep time. And yet, each generation only experienced its own small world. The dinosaurs experienced their world. The small mammals experienced theirs. The early primates experienced theirs. And our ancestors experienced theirs. Nobody could see the entire story. Only now, looking backward, can we begin to connect the pieces. So imagine one early hominin resting beneath a tree. The afternoon light is fading. The grass moves gently in the wind. Birds call in the distance. The animal looks across the open landscape. Perhaps it is watching for danger. Perhaps it is simply resting. Above, the sky slowly changes color. Orange, gold, then purple, then deep blue. Stars begin appearing. The same stars that watched the dinosaurs. The same stars that watched the asteroid. The same stars that watched the first mammals. And eventually, The same stars that will watch human beings build cities, cross oceans, and send machines beyond Earth. But that future is still far away. For now, there is only this quiet evening, an early human ancestor beneath the stars, a small fire perhaps flickering nearby in later ages, a family gathered close, the soft sounds of the night, and the long road of evolution stretching behind them. Behind us, all the way back, to the ancient mammals, to the dinosaurs, to the first life, and even farther, to the formation of Earth itself. The story that began with the disappearance of dinosaurs has become something much larger. It is the story of survival, transformation, chance, and time. And as you drift deeper into sleep, let that enormous timeline become quiet. The dinosaurs walked here. The mammals followed. Our ancestors came later. And now, we are here, only for a moment, on a planet that has been changing for billions of years. The Earth continues turning. The stars continue shining. And the story of life, millions of years continue to pass. The forests change. The continents move. The oceans rise and fall. The mammals spread. And the dinosaurs become more distant with every generation. But beneath the surface, their remains are waiting. Bones settle into sediment. Leaves fall into ancient mud. Footprints are covered. Nests disappear beneath layers of soil. Rivers carry sand across old landscapes. And slowly, the Earth begins writing a record made not with ink, but with stone. The process is slow, almost impossibly slow. A dinosaur dies. Its body is exposed to the elements. Most of it disappears. Scavengers feed. Insects arrive. Microorganisms break down soft tissue. Rain and wind slowly erase what remains. Usually, nothing survives. But sometimes, a bone becomes buried quickly. Sediment covers it. Oxygen becomes limited. Minerals move through groundwater. Over enormous periods of time, the original material can be replaced or preserved. The bone becomes part of the rock, a fossil, a message from deep time. Imagine a dinosaur walking beside a river. Its feet press into soft mud. One footprint, then another, then another. The animal continues. Rain later falls. The mud dries. More sediment covers the tracks. A new layer forms. Then another, then another. Millions of years pass. The river changes course. The landscape disappears beneath newer rock. And eventually, a human being comes along. A scientist notices a strange shape, a pattern in stone, a fossilized footprint, a clue. The ancient animal has left behind evidence that it existed. This is how we know so much about dinosaurs. Not because anyone saw them. No human ever watched a Tyrannosaurus walking across a landscape. No human ever heard a Triceratops call. No human ever watched a dinosaur hatch from an egg. Everything we know comes from evidence. Bones, teeth, footprints, eggs, nests, coprolites, fossilized remains of ancient digestive waste, skin impressions, feather impressions, and the rocks surrounding them. Scientists become detectives of deep time. They examine clues. They compare fossils. They study the chemistry of rocks. They examine microscopic structures. They use physics, biology, geology, chemistry, and increasingly, powerful imaging technology. Slowly, the ancient world begins to emerge. And one of the greatest discoveries is that the dinosaurs did not disappear everywhere in exactly the same way. Different ecosystems experienced different effects. Some regions changed dramatically. Some species disappeared quickly. Others survived for longer. The extinction boundary can be seen in rocks around the world, a thin layer marking a profound change in Earth's history. Below the boundary, Cretaceous life. Above it, a very different world. The rocks become a kind of timeline, layer after layer. Earth records its history. Older layers lie beneath younger ones. In those layers, we can find ancient environments. A river that once flowed. A sea that once covered a continent. A forest that once stood where a desert exists today. The planet remembers. Not consciously, but physically. The evidence remains. Imagine holding a fossilized leaf. The leaf itself disappeared millions of years ago, but its shape remains. The veins are visible. The outline is preserved. For a moment, you are holding something that once belonged to a living plant. That plant grew beneath the same sun. It absorbed carbon dioxide. It released oxygen. Perhaps an insect landed on it. Perhaps a dinosaur ate it. Perhaps rain fell onto its surface. And then, it became part of the rocks. Time transformed it, but did not completely erase it. This is what fossils allow us to do. They let us look backward, far beyond human memory, far beyond written history, far beyond civilization, into deep time. The dinosaur extinction becomes more than a story. It becomes a scientific event that can be investigated. We can determine when it happened. We can study the crater. We can identify chemical signals. We can examine extinction patterns. We can compare species before and after the event. And from all of this, a picture emerges. An asteroid struck Earth approximately 66 million years ago. It created the Chicxulub crater. The impact released enormous energy. Dust and other materials entered the atmosphere. Climate conditions changed. Photosynthesis was disrupted. Food webs collapsed. And approximately 3/4 of Earth's species are thought to have disappeared. Among them, the non-avian dinosaurs. But not everything disappeared. And the fossil record shows that too. Bird fossils continue. Mammal fossils continue. Turtles continue. Crocodilian relatives continue. Fish continue. Insects continue. Plants continue. The boundary is not a line between life and death. It is a line between two different versions of life. A before and an after. Below the line, the dinosaur-dominated world. Above it, the recovering world of the Paleogene. And between those layers, the Earth tells us that something enormous happened. Imagine standing at the edge of a rock formation. The layers stretch outward. Each one represents an unimaginable amount of time. You look down and see the remains of ancient creatures. Then you look upward and see newer layers, higher, younger, more recent. The entire history of life is beneath your feet, and somewhere above, eventually, are the layers containing human history. But compared with the age of Earth, those layers are incredibly thin. Human civilization is a tiny moment. Modern humans are a tiny moment. The dinosaurs existed for far longer, and even they were late arrivals compared with the earliest life. The fossil record reminds us of scale. Deep time is difficult for the human mind to imagine. 1,000,000 years sounds enormous, but 66 million years is far larger. 200 million years is larger still. and Earth is approximately 4.5 billion years old. The dinosaurs are only one chapter, a spectacular chapter, but still only one chapter. And their disappearance is only one transition. The planet continues. Life continues. The rocks continue forming. And new fossils are created every day. Some will survive. Most will not. Perhaps somewhere today, an animal dies in a place where its remains will eventually be buried. Perhaps a leaf falls into sediment. Perhaps an insect becomes trapped in resin. Perhaps a shell settles on the ocean floor. Millions of years from now, some future creature might discover it. If intelligent life remains on Earth, perhaps someone will hold that fossil and wonder about us. They might discover our bones, our buildings, our roads, our machines, our plastic, our altered landscapes. And they might ask, what happened here? Just as we ask about the dinosaurs. Because every civilization, every species, every ecosystem is temporary. The planet is the constant. The Earth keeps changing. Life keeps changing. And the record keeps accumulating. So tonight, as you drift towards sleep, imagine yourself standing beside an ancient fossil bed. The wind moves gently across the landscape. The sky is clear. A fossilized footprint rests in the stone. You place your hand beside it. Your hand is warm. The fossil is cold. Between your hand and that footprint, there are 66 million years. 66 million years of rain, sunlight, evolution, extinction, mountain building, ocean movement, forests, animals, and generations of life. The dinosaur that made that footprint could never have imagined you. And you could never have imagined its world without the evidence it left behind. Yet somehow, your lives are connected. One existed long before the other. One left a footprint. The other discovered it. The rock became a bridge between them, a bridge across deep time. And perhaps that is why dinosaur fossils feel so extraordinary. They are not merely bones. They are reminders that the world has always been changing, that enormous creatures can disappear, that small survivors can inherit the future, that nothing is guaranteed. And yet, life continues, quietly, patiently, across billions of years. The Earth keeps turning, the layers keep forming, and the ancient dinosaurs, though gone from the living world, remain written into the stone. The story now returns to the final days, not because the dinosaurs knew they were approaching an ending, but because we know what happened next. 66 million years ago, the Earth was still full of dinosaurs. They were not fossils yet. They were not museum skeletons. They were living animals, breathing, moving, feeding, raising young, crossing rivers, walking through forests, flying through the sky. The final dinosaurs lived in a world that felt normal to them. The asteroid had already begun its journey toward Earth, but nothing in the ordinary life of a dinosaur revealed what was coming. Imagine one final Cretaceous evening. The sun is lowering. The sky becomes golden. Long shadows stretch across the landscape. A herd of herbivores moves slowly toward shelter. Young animals stay close to adults. The day has been warm. The air carries the scent of plants and water. A river reflects the fading light. Birds move through the trees. Insects settle among leaves. And somewhere in the distance, a large predator disappears into the vegetation. Nothing seems different. There is no countdown, no final warning, no sign saying, "This is the last evening." That is what makes the ending so haunting. The dinosaurs were not living in a world that looked doomed. They were living in a world that looked ordinary. The forests were green. The oceans were full. The sky was blue. The sun was shining. Life was everywhere. And yet, the future was already approaching. Imagine a nest. Inside are eggs. Perhaps a parent remains nearby. The eggs contain another generation. Animals that may never hatch. Animals whose entire future is about to disappear. And yet, at that moment, the eggs are still full of possibility. A future dinosaur waits inside each one. This is one of the quietest images of extinction. Not only adults disappearing, but futures disappearing too. Generations that never get to live. The same is true across the planet. Young animals are growing. Seeds are waiting. Nests are being built. Migrations are beginning. Mating seasons are underway. Life is preparing for tomorrow. And then, the sky changes. The asteroid enters Earth's atmosphere. A light brighter than anything in the ordinary sky appears. The atmosphere glows. The object moves downward at extraordinary speed. For a short time, the sky itself becomes the most powerful thing in the world. Then, impact. The Chicxulub impact occurs. The energy released is immense. The Earth's surface near the impact is transformed. Rock is shattered. Material is thrown upward. Shock waves move outward. The atmosphere responds, and the consequences begin spreading across the planet. The first effects are immediate. The later effects are longer. The sky fills with material. Dust and other particles move through the atmosphere. Sunlight becomes reduced. Temperatures begin changing. Plants struggle. Food webs begin breaking apart. And the dinosaurs, after ruling many terrestrial ecosystems for more than 150 million years, face an environmental crisis unlike anything in their evolutionary history. Some survive the initial event, but survival requires more than avoiding the impact. The planet itself has changed. Food is becoming difficult to find. Large animals require large amounts of energy, and the largest dinosaurs have enormous energy demands. A giant herbivore needs huge quantities of plant material. A large predator depends on abundant prey. When the ecosystem collapses, their size becomes a burden. Smaller animals may have better chances. Animals capable of hiding underground may survive. Animals with flexible diets may survive. Animals that can eat seeds may survive. Animals living in water may survive. And among dinosaurs, some birds survive. This is why the phrase, "the dinosaurs disappeared," needs a little explanation. Most dinosaurs disappeared, but not all. Birds are dinosaurs. So in a scientific sense, dinosaurs are still alive today. The extinction ended the non-avian dinosaurs, tyrannosaurs, triceratops, hadrosaurs, ankylosaurs, many other remarkable groups. But the avian branch continued. The dinosaur family tree was cut down, but one branch remained. And from that branch, the modern birds would eventually emerge. So the final dinosaurs were not all enormous. Some were small. Some were feathered. Some may have looked surprisingly bird-like. Their descendants would become the birds we see today. A sparrow carries that history. A raven carries it. An eagle carries it. A penguin carries it. An ostrich carries it. Every bird is a living reminder that the dinosaur story did not completely end, but the world of giant dinosaurs The world of enormous terrestrial reptiles was coming to an end. The last non-avian dinosaurs lived through the aftermath for some time. Populations became smaller. Food became scarcer. Reproduction became more difficult. Habitats changed. And eventually, their lineages ended. There was no single final dinosaur standing alone beneath the sky. There was no dramatic final scene. Extinction happened across populations, across species, across ecosystems, over a period of environmental upheaval. One species disappeared, then another, until the great dinosaur world was gone. The final individual of each species probably lived an ordinary life. It searched for food. It moved through its habitat. It may have interacted with others of its kind. It may have reached adulthood. It may have reproduced. And then, eventually, there were no more. That is how extinction often happens. Not with one final moment, but with the gradual disappearance of a lineage. And after the last individual dies, the world continues. The sun rises. The rivers flow. Plants grow. Insects move. Birds fly. Small mammals search for food. The earth does not stop. The planet does not mourn. Nature simply continues. And that continuation becomes the beginning of something new. The empty spaces left by dinosaurs become opportunities. Mammals expand. Birds diversify. New ecosystems form. New predators appear. New herbivores appear. The planet slowly becomes filled again. And eventually, millions of years later, a strange new world emerges. A world where elephants walk across plains. Whales swim through oceans. Bats fly through darkness. Monkeys move through forests. And humans walk across the land. None of them could have existed in their modern forms without the long chain of events that followed the extinction. The asteroid did not create us, but it changed the evolutionary landscape in which our distant ancestors lived. That distinction matters. History is not a straight road. It is a branching forest. Countless paths are possible. Some branches end. Others continue. Some become enormous. Some remain tiny. Some enter the oceans. Some take to the air. Some develop extraordinary brains. And one branch eventually begins asking questions about the entire tree. We look at the fossil record. We study the rocks. We examine the impact crater. We reconstruct ancient climates. And we realize the dinosaurs were once as alive as we are. They had ordinary days, ordinary mornings, ordinary evenings. They experienced their world in the only way any animal can, one moment at a time. Perhaps that is the most peaceful way to remember them, not as monsters, not only as giants, not only as fossils, but as living animals. A mother near a nest, a young dinosaur following an adult, a herd moving toward water, a small feathered dinosaur searching through leaves, a predator waiting quietly, a bird-like dinosaur flying over a forest. Millions of individual lives, each with their own small story. And then, the world changed. Their era ended, but life continued. And from the survivors, new worlds emerged. So now, let the ancient landscape become quiet. The sun is setting over the Cretaceous. The trees are dark silhouettes. A river moves slowly through the valley. The first stars appear. A few birds settle into the branches. The great dinosaurs rest. The earth turns beneath them. And far above, the moon shines silently. For the last time, The world of giant non-avian dinosaurs sleeps beneath that ancient sky. They do not know what tomorrow will bring. They do not need to. They have lived their lives. And their story, though ending, will never truly disappear. Their bones will become stone. Their footprints will remain. Their descendants will fill the skies. And one day, humans will look back across 66 million years and remember, the last dinosaurs were not the end of life. They were one of the greatest turning points in the long, quiet story of Earth. Morning returns to Earth, but it is no longer the morning of the dinosaurs. The giant herds are gone. The great predators are gone. The familiar Cretaceous forests have changed. The world feels quieter. Yet beneath the quiet, life is beginning again. Small mammals emerge from shelters. Birds move through branches. Insects return to flowers. Plants begin spreading across disturbed landscapes. The survivors are building a new world. For a while, the planet belongs to the small. Small bodies, small footsteps, small nests, small opportunities. The enormous animals that once dominated the land have disappeared. Now, a mammal weighing only a few kilograms can enter a space that once belonged to a giant dinosaur. A small predator can hunt among vegetation without competing with enormous carnivores. A seed-eating bird can travel across open ground. An insect-eating mammal can search beneath fallen leaves. The world has become open, and evolution begins filling the spaces. Imagine a recovering forest. The trees are young. The plants are spreading. Sunlight reaches the ground. A small mammal moves beneath the leaves. It stops, listens, then continues. Above it, a bird lands on a branch. The bird looks around. Its feathers move gently in the breeze. This bird is part of a lineage that survived the catastrophe. Its ancestors were dinosaurs. And now, it is living in a world without Tyrannosaurus, without Triceratops, without enormous hadrosaurs, without the giant predators and herbivores that once filled the landscape. The bird does not know this. It simply lives. Perhaps it searches for insects. Perhaps it eats seeds. Perhaps it builds a nest. Life has returned to its ordinary rhythm. And that ordinary rhythm is incredibly important because ecosystems are not rebuilt by dramatic events. They are rebuilt by countless small interactions. A plant grows. An insect feeds on it. A bird eats the insect. A seed is carried elsewhere. A mammal eats fruit. A predator follows the mammal. Fungi break down fallen material. Bacteria return nutrients to the soil. The cycle begins again. Nature is rebuilding itself from the ground up. And as the world becomes more stable, larger mammals begin appearing. At first, they are modest. Then, some become larger, much larger. Without the giant dinosaurs occupying so many large herbivore roles, mammals begin evolving into new forms. There are huge plant eaters, large predators, fast runners, animals adapted to forests, animals adapted to open plains. The mammals are experimenting with size. Some become enormous. Eventually, there will be mammals heavier than many dinosaurs. But that future is still far away. For now, the world is young. The extinction has created a strange opportunity. Evolution can explore. Imagine a lineage of small herbivorous mammals. Generation after generation, some individuals are slightly larger. In certain environments, being larger may help. A larger body can digest tougher vegetation. It may deter some predators. It may allow longer travel between food sources. Over time, natural selection can favor larger individuals. But larger bodies require more food. So the environment matters. If enough food exists, large bodies can succeed. If food becomes scarce, smaller bodies may have an advantage. Evolution is always a conversation between organisms and their surroundings. There is no perfect body, only bodies that work well enough for a particular place, at a particular time. The same principle shaped the dinosaurs. It shapes mammals. It shapes birds. It shapes every living thing. And now, the world is changing again. The climate gradually shifts. Forests change. Grasslands expand. The continents continue moving. Africa moves closer to Eurasia. The Americas eventually become connected. Animals begin spreading between continents. Species encounter new environments. Competition changes. New predators appear. New prey appear. The mammal world becomes increasingly complex. Some animals become specialists. Others remain flexible. Some live alone. Others live in groups. Some develop elaborate social systems. And among the primates, social intelligence becomes increasingly important. Groups communicate. Young animals learn by observing adults. Relationships become more complex. Memory becomes valuable. The ability to recognize individuals becomes useful. And slowly, over millions of years, the primate brain continues changing. The future of our own lineage is taking shape. But the story remains mostly invisible. There is no single moment when intelligence suddenly appears. There is no morning when an animal wakes up as the first human. Instead, there is gradual change. Small changes in body structure. Small changes in behavior. Small changes in the brain. Small changes in social life. And eventually, these differences accumulate. Time does the work. Deep time. The kind of time that is difficult to imagine. 1,000,000 years. Then another million. Then another. The extinction fades deeper into the geological past. The impact crater becomes buried. New rocks form above it. New mountains rise elsewhere. The oceans move. Forests become grasslands. Grasslands become forests. Species appear and disappear. And still, the earth continues. Imagine standing on a high hill millions of years after the asteroid. You look across a landscape filled with mammals. Herds move through open country. Birds cross the sky. Trees line the rivers. Predators follow herbivores. The world is busy again. But it is not the old world. It is something new. A new experiment. A new arrangement of life. And if you could look backward, you would realize that this world exists because of what came before. The survivors carried the story forward. The small mammals, the birds, the turtles, the crocodilians, the insects, the plants, the fungi, the microorganisms. All of them became part of the recovery. Every survivor mattered, even those that seemed insignificant. A tiny mammal beneath the soil, a bird feeding on seeds, an insect pollinating a flower, a plant storing energy in its roots, all contributed to the rebuilding of ecosystems. Life is not built only by giants. Often, the future depends on the smallest survivors. And that is why the asteroid story is not simply a story about destruction. It is also a story about resilience. The Earth can lose enormous numbers of species, and still produce new diversity. Not immediately, not without suffering, not without countless lineages disappearing. But eventually, new forms emerge. Life experiments again, and again, and again. The survivors inherit the planet. Then their descendants transform it. Then new species inherit it. And the process continues. Perhaps, in the quiet of your room tonight, you can imagine the Earth as it might have looked during those early recovery stages. No cities, no roads, no human voices. Just forests, rivers, open plains, and the sounds of animals. A small mammal moves through the grass. A bird calls. The wind moves across leaves. A river flows. The sun rises. The earth turns. The asteroid is now far behind. The dinosaurs are fossils. And the future is open. Somewhere in that future, whales will return to the oceans. Bats will fill the night. Elephants will walk across plains. Primates will climb trees. And eventually, humans will stand upright and look toward the stars. But none of that is visible yet. The Earth is simply continuing. One generation at a time. One sunrise at a time. One quiet change at a time. And so, let the ancient world become peaceful again. The forest breathes. The river moves. The birds settle into their nests. Small mammals disappear into the leaves. The stars appear above. The great dinosaurs are gone, but their descendants remain. And the mammals, once hidden beneath their feet, are beginning to inherit the world. Slowly, quietly, patiently, the new age begins. The Earth continues turning beneath the stars. The extinction is now millions of years behind us. So much has changed. The forests have moved. The oceans have changed shape. Mountains have risen and worn away. New animals have appeared. Others have disappeared. And the world has slowly become more familiar. But the echo of the dinosaurs remains. It remains in stone. It remains in fossils. It remains in the bones buried beneath layers of rock. And most surprisingly, it remains alive. In birds. Every morning, across the modern Earth, billions of birds begin their day. A sparrow lands on a rooftop. A crow moves through a tree. An eagle circles above a mountain. A penguin walks across ice. An owl waits quietly in the darkness. Each one belongs to a lineage that survived the Great Extinction. They are dinosaurs. Living dinosaurs. Their ancestors passed through the catastrophe 66 million years ago. Small enough, adaptable enough, lucky enough to survive. And because they survived, the dinosaur story continues today. Imagine a bird sitting quietly on a branch. Its feathers move gently in the wind. It looks around, then it flies. The movement is effortless. Wings spread, air flows beneath them. The bird rises above the trees. From the ground, it looks ordinary, but hidden inside that ordinary moment is an extraordinary history. More than 150 million years of dinosaur evolution. Feathers, hollow bones, eggs, claws, scales, flight. All of these features are connected through deep ancestry. The bird does not know this. It does not need to. Evolution does not require awareness. It simply carries history forward, generation after generation. And this is true for us too. We carry ancient history inside our bodies. Our cells, our DNA, our bones, our chemistry. We are living descendants of an unimaginably long chain of life. The atoms in our bodies have traveled through stars, rocks, Oceans, plants, animals, and countless generations of organisms. The Earth itself is inside us, and the dinosaurs, in their own way, are part of that story. Not directly because our ancestors were dinosaurs. Our lineage and theirs diverged far earlier, but because we share the same planet, the same evolutionary history, the same ancient world. The extinction changed the conditions in which our mammalian ancestors lived. Without that change, the later history of mammals might have been completely different. Perhaps our lineage would never have appeared. Perhaps another lineage would have become dominant. Perhaps the world would still be filled with giant reptiles. We cannot know. The asteroid created possibilities, not guarantees. And that distinction makes the story even more fascinating. Life is full of chance, a mutation, a climate shift, a volcanic eruption, a migration, a collision, a changing coastline, a new predator, a new food source, a disease, a storm, a geological event. Small changes can redirect evolutionary history. The dinosaurs themselves were shaped by countless such events. Their ancestors survived. They diversified. They dominated ecosystems. And eventually, one cosmic event changed everything. Now imagine the asteroid crater, not as it looked on the day of impact, but today, the landscape has changed. Vegetation covers the region. People live nearby. Roads cross the land. Modern life continues. The crater is no longer an enormous open scar. Much of it lies beneath layers of rock and sediment. But deep below, the evidence remains. The Earth remembers. Scientists can study the structure. They can examine rocks. They can identify materials created under extreme conditions. They can reconstruct the event. The crater becomes a window into the past, a place where the boundary between two worlds can be studied. And from that evidence, we understand that the dinosaurs did not simply disappear mysteriously. Their extinction was part of a global environmental transformation. The asteroid was the trigger. The consequences spread through the atmosphere and climate. The food web collapsed. Many species could not survive. Others did. And from those survivors, the future emerged. This pattern appears throughout Earth's history. Extinction, recovery, diversification. Again and again, life is not permanent in any particular form. But life itself has proved remarkably persistent. The planet has experienced enormous losses before, and after each one, new ecosystems eventually appeared. Not identical ecosystems, new ones. The Earth does not recreate the past. It creates something different. That is why the modern world is so unlike the Cretaceous world. There are no triceratops walking across plains, no Tyrannosaurus waiting beside a forest, no giant herds of hadrosaurs crossing rivers. But there are elephants, whales, giraffes, wolves, bats, birds, humans, and millions of other species. A different world, built from the survivors. Now, imagine the modern Earth at night. City lights shine across continents. Cars move along roads. Buildings glow. People look at screens. Airplanes cross the atmosphere. And above all of it, the stars remain. The same stars that once watched dinosaurs walk. The same moon that once illuminated Cretaceous forests. The same sun that once warmed ancient seas. Earth has changed, but the sky connects the ages. If a dinosaur could somehow look at the modern world, Almost everything would be unfamiliar. Yet perhaps a bird would seem strangely familiar. A feathered creature, a small dinosaur, flying through the air. The ancient lineage is still here, still moving, still singing, still evolving. And perhaps that is the most beautiful ending for the dinosaur story. They did not simply vanish. Their world ended. Their largest forms disappeared. But one branch survived, and that branch still fills the sky. So when morning comes, and you hear birds outside your window, remember that sound has an ancient history. Long before humans, before cities, before agriculture, before language, before our species, there were dinosaurs, and one of their descendants may be singing outside, a tiny echo from a world 66 million years ago. Now let the thought become softer. The ancient forest fades. The dinosaurs disappear into deep time. The asteroid becomes a distant memory. The fossils settle beneath the rocks, and the modern world slowly appears. But beneath everything, the story is still connected. The ancient Earth, the surviving birds, the rising mammals, the primates, the humans, all part of one enormous history. One planet, one continuous story, one long chain of life, and the Earth keeps turning. Quietly, patiently, without hurry, the dinosaurs lived. They flourished. They disappeared, and life continued. Perhaps that is the lesson hidden inside their story. Nothing lasts forever, but endings can create beginnings. A forest disappears, and another grows. A species vanishes, and another evolves. A world ends, and another begins. The Earth has been doing this for billions of years. And tonight, while you rest, the planet continues its quiet journey through space. The oceans move. The atmosphere flows. Plants release oxygen. Animals breathe. Birds sleep in trees. Mammals rest beneath the night sky. And far below, the fossils of ancient dinosaurs remain. Quiet, still, patient, waiting beneath the earth. Their lives are over, but their story continues. And now, as your thoughts become slower, you can let the entire journey drift gently away. The ancient forests, the giant dinosaurs, the asteroid, the darkness, the survivors, the birds, the mammals, the long road toward humanity, all of it, part of the same enormous story. A story written across 66 million years, and still being written today. So breathe slowly. Let your body become heavy. Let the world become quiet. And imagine the Earth from far above, a small blue planet, turning peacefully in the darkness. Clouds moving across its surface. Oceans reflecting faint sunlight. Birds sleeping. Forests breathing. Life continuing. And beneath the surface, the ancient bones remain. A quiet reminder that the world has changed before, and it will change again. But for tonight, everything is peaceful. The earth is turning. The stars are shining. And the long story of life continues. Quietly, beneath the night sky, night settles gently across the earth. The modern world grows quiet. Cities begin to dim. Forests become dark. Rivers reflect the moon. And above everything, the stars remain. They have watched the earth for billions of years. They watched the first oceans form. They watched the first life appear. They watched continents drift. They watched dinosaurs rise. They watched the asteroid arrive. And they watched the world change. Tonight, we travel back one final time. Back to the ancient Earth. Back to the world immediately after the Great Extinction. Imagine the planet from far above. The atmosphere is slowly clearing. The surface is recovering. The oceans continue moving. The continents remain where they were, though their landscapes are changing. There are no human cities, no roads, no artificial lights, only the natural light of the moon, the stars, and the distant sun. The planet is quiet, but it is not empty. Life is still here. Small life, hidden life, resilient life. Under fallen leaves, in soil, beneath water, inside trees, along rivers, in burrows, and among the surviving forests. The survivors are breathing, eating, moving, reproducing. The great catastrophe has passed, and now the long recovery begins. Imagine a small mammal emerging from its shelter. It pauses. The night air is cool. It listens. Nothing dangerous approaches. It begins searching. The animal is tiny compared with the dinosaurs that once dominated this landscape, but its small size is now an advantage. It does not need enormous quantities of food. It can move through narrow spaces. It can hide. It can survive on seeds and insects. And it can reproduce. The future is open. A few meters away, a bird rests on a branch. Its feathers are tucked close to its body. Its head turns slightly. Then it becomes still again. The bird is a dinosaur, one of the survivors. Its ancestors endured the catastrophe, and now its descendants will inherit the sky. The world is changing, but the bird does not know. It simply sleeps. Perhaps its descendants will one day become thousands of species. Perhaps some will become enormous. Some will lose the ability to fly. Some will live on islands. Some will migrate thousands of kilometers. Some will hunt. Some will eat fruit. Some will feed from flowers. Some will swim. And some will become symbols of entire ecosystems. But tonight, it is only a sleeping bird, a small survivor beneath the stars. The forest around it is quiet. A few insects move through the darkness. The wind passes through the leaves. Somewhere nearby, water flows. The river has no memory. It has flowed through this landscape before. It will continue flowing after the dinosaurs are gone. Water does not care which species dominates. It simply follows gravity. Downhill, toward the sea, the river becomes another thread connecting the past and future. For millions of years, water will shape the land. It will carry sediment, create valleys, move minerals, support life, and eventually, humans will build beside it. But that is far away. For now, the river flows beneath an ancient sky. The stars shine overhead. The earth rotates, and the new world begins. Time moves. Slowly, the forests recover. Plants spread. Mammals diversify. Birds multiply. Insects return. The oceans stabilize. And the scars of the extinction become covered by new layers of life. Millions of years become tens of millions. The world changes almost beyond recognition. The dinosaurs become increasingly distant. Their bones turn to stone. Their footprints disappear beneath sediment. Their habitats vanish. New mountains rise where their descendants once walked. New seas appear. The continents move. And eventually, the world becomes home to creatures that would have been unimaginable to the dinosaurs. Whales swim through oceans. Elephants walk across grasslands. Bats fly through the night. Primates move through forests. And eventually, humans arrive. We build. We explore, we study, we look backward, and we find the bones. At first, perhaps they are mysterious, strange shapes in the ground, large teeth, massive bones, footprints, eggs. Then, people begin realizing what they mean. These animals once lived. They were not myths. They were real. They walked across the planet. They reproduced. They hunted. They migrated. They died. And their remains became fossils. The discovery changes our understanding of Earth. The planet is far older than human history. Life is far older than civilization. The world we see around us is only one moment in an enormous process. And the dinosaurs become one of the clearest reminders. They dominated the planet for more than 160 million years. Humans have existed for only a tiny fraction of that time. Human civilization is even smaller. A thin line, a brief flicker. Compared with deep time, we have just arrived. And yet, we have learned enough to look backward. We can reconstruct the asteroid. We can identify the crater. We can examine the extinction boundary. We can study the surviving species. We can understand that the world once changed dramatically, and that it will change again. Perhaps that knowledge makes the dinosaur story feel less like a story about the past, and more like a story about time itself. Everything changes. Everything passes. Continents, climate, species, forests, oceans, even the stars. But change does not mean meaninglessness. The fact that something ends does not mean it was unimportant. The dinosaurs lived for more than 160 million years. They shaped ecosystems. They evolved incredible forms. They filled almost every terrestrial environment. Their story mattered, even though it ended. And because it ended, we can study it. We can learn from it. We can understand how fragile ecosystems can be, and how resilient life can become. So now, let us return to the ancient night. The asteroid has passed. The sky is dark. The surviving animals are resting. The forest is breathing. A river moves through the valley. The moon rises, and the earth continues turning. There is no dramatic music, no final announcement, no voice telling the animals that their world has ended. There is only darkness and the quiet sounds of life. An insect moves through grass. A bird shifts on a branch. A small mammal disappears into its shelter. Leaves move in the wind. Water flows over stones. The world is peaceful again. And perhaps that is how we should remember the dinosaurs. Not only at the moment of destruction, but in the quiet moments before and after. They were living creatures. They had ordinary days. They searched for food. They cared for young. They moved through landscapes. They lived beneath the sun. And when their world changed, life continued through those that survived. Their story became part of ours. Their extinction helped shape the world in which mammals diversified. And eventually, one mammalian lineage began looking into the past. That lineage became us. We look at their bones, and we wonder. We imagine their footsteps. We reconstruct their landscapes. We listen to the silence left behind. And perhaps, when we look at birds, we see a small piece of that ancient world still alive. A dinosaur flying across the morning sky. A tiny survivor carrying an ancient lineage forward. So tonight, as you close your eyes, imagine that bird sleeping beneath the stars. Imagine the ancient forest around it. Imagine the river flowing quietly nearby. Imagine the Earth turning beneath the moon. The dinosaurs are gone, but life remains, and life will continue changing for millions and millions and millions of years. The story does not really have an ending, only chapters. One world becomes another, one generation becomes another, one species becomes another, and the Earth continues its slow journey through space. Quietly, patiently, beautifully. So rest now. Let the ancient forest fade. Let the stars become soft points of light. Let the river carry your thoughts away. The asteroid is long gone. The darkness has passed. The survivors have moved forward. And the Earth, still turning beneath the stars, is peaceful tonight. Good night, ancient Earth. Good night, dinosaurs. And good night to the long story of life. The night is quiet. Far above the Earth, the stars move slowly across the sky. Below them, the planet continues its ancient rhythm. The extinction is now far behind. The darkness has lifted. The forests are returning. The oceans are full of life. And the survivors are beginning to create something new. A new world. Not a replacement for the old one, but something different. Something that could never have existed in quite the same way before. Imagine a forest several million years after the catastrophe. The trees are tall again. Their leaves form a soft green canopy. Sunlight falls through small openings between branches. Flowers attract insects. Fruits hang from trees. Birds move through the foliage. Small mammals climb over roots. Larger mammals walk beneath the trees. Everywhere, there is movement. Everywhere, there is life. The silence of the extinction has become a distant memory, but the memory remains in the rocks. Beneath the forest floor, layers of sediment preserve traces of what came before. A tooth, a fragment of bone, a footprint, a shell, a piece of wood, tiny pieces of an enormous story. Above them, the new world grows. The mammals are becoming increasingly varied. Some are tiny enough to fit in your hand. Others are becoming larger than a human. Some live alone. Others travel in groups. Some are fast. Some are slow. Some are hunters. Some are grazers. Some spend their lives in trees. Others return to the water. One lineage after another explores a different possibility. And this is what recovery looks like. Not a return, an expansion. Life spreads into spaces that have become available. A species finds a new food source. Another finds a new shelter. Another learns to live in a new environment. Over generations, their descendants change. The Earth becomes a collection of experiments. Millions of experiments happening simultaneously. Most fail. Some succeed. And the successful ones become the ancestors of future worlds. The same process that shaped dinosaurs now shapes mammals. There is no pause in evolution. There is no moment when nature says, "The world is finished." Life keeps responding. The climate changes. Species respond. The landscape changes. Species respond. Predators evolve. Prey respond. Plants change. Herbivores respond. Everything is connected. A change in one part of an ecosystem can eventually influence another. A new plant may support a new insect. The insect may support a bird. The bird may feed a predator. The predator may influence the behavior of herbivores. The herbivores influence the plants. And the cycle continues. This is the quiet architecture of an ecosystem. Countless relationships working together. Now imagine a meadow. The grass moves gently beneath the wind. A herd of early large mammals walks slowly across the landscape. They stop to feed. Young animals stay close to adults. A predator watches from a distance. It does not attack. Not yet. It waits. The herd continues. The predator follows. This is the beginning of a familiar ecological pattern. Herbivores and predators, plants and grazers, hunters and hunted, life finding balance, though never a perfect balance, always changing, always shifting. The extinction had removed many of the old relationships. Now new ones are forming. The planet is rebuilding its food webs. And in the background, the climate continues changing. Some forests become more open. Grasslands expand. The spread of grasses becomes increasingly important. Grasses are unusual plants. They can tolerate grazing. They can grow again after being eaten. Their roots can spread through soil. They can survive seasonal changes. As grasslands expand, new animals evolve to use them. Teeth become better suited to grinding. Legs become longer. Bodies become adapted for running. Some predators follow. The open landscape becomes a new stage for evolution. And eventually, the great mammals will dominate these plains. Horses, elephants, rhinoceroses, antelope, cattle relatives, large predators. But the story is still unfolding. Far away, in forests, primates are continuing their quiet evolution. They move through branches. They eat fruit. They search for insects. They communicate. They care for their young. Their hands are capable of precise movements. Their eyes face forward. Their brains are relatively large. These characteristics will matter later, but not yet. For now, the primates are simply another group of mammals, one branch among thousands. Most branches of evolution never lead anywhere familiar. They flourish for a while, then disappear. That is normal. Evolution creates enormous diversity, but extinction constantly removes it. The history of life is not a steady climb upward. It is more like a forest. Branches grow, branches split, branches end, new branches appear. Some become large, some remain small, some survive for millions of years. Others vanish quickly. There is no guarantee, and our own lineage will eventually experience the same uncertainty. But tonight, we are still far from humans. The earth is quiet. The sun sets over the grasslands. A herd settles for the night. Birds return to trees. Small mammals disappear into shelters. The stars begin appearing. The planet looks peaceful. Yet beneath that peaceful surface, millions of evolutionary experiments are happening. Every newborn animal carries a slightly different combination of inherited traits. Every generation faces its environment. Some individuals survive. Some reproduce. Others do not. And slowly, populations change. This process is so gradual that no animal can see it. A mammal living for 10 years cannot watch its species evolve. A bird living for 20 years cannot see millions of generations. Evolution becomes visible only when we step backward, when we compare fossils, when we look across geological layers, when we examine the differences between ancient species and modern descendants. Then, the transformation becomes astonishing. A small land mammal can become a whale. A tree-dwelling primate can become an ape. A feathered dinosaur can become an eagle. A creature that once lived beneath giant dinosaurs can eventually become part of the lineage that builds cities. Time is the great sculptor. It works slowly, but it never stops. And the world after the dinosaurs becomes the workshop. The extinction created openings. The survivors explored them. The climate provided new challenges. Evolution responded, and the future began taking shape. Imagine the Earth from space again. The planet is blue. Clouds drift across oceans. Green landscapes cover continents. There are no borders, no countries, no cities, no roads, just a living planet. From that distance, the extinction is invisible. There is no mark saying, "Here the dinosaurs ended." The Earth looks peaceful, but beneath the surface, its history is everywhere. The bones, the fossils, the rocks, the ancient chemistry, the living descendants. Everything tells the story. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. Earth does not erase the past completely. It transforms it. Old forests become coal. Old seas become limestone. Old organisms become fossils. Old lineages become new species. Old worlds become foundations for new worlds. Nothing remains exactly the same, but almost everything leaves something behind. The dinosaurs left bones, footprints, eggs, feathers, and descendants. The mammals inherited an altered planet. They transformed it, and eventually, their descendants would transform it again. Humans would arrive. But for now, let us stay in this ancient world. The moon is rising. The grasslands are silver beneath the light. A herd of mammals stands quietly. A bird rests in a tree. The river reflects the stars. The wind moves softly through the grass. There is no city noise, no engines, no artificial light, only the natural sounds of earth. A distant call, the rustling of leaves, the soft movement of water, the breathing of animals. The night continues, and somewhere beneath the soil, the ancient bones of dinosaurs remain. Their world is gone, but their history has become part of the new world. The mammals are rising, the birds are spreading, the ecosystems are rebuilding, and deep within the branches of the mammalian family tree, a tiny path is slowly forming. A path that will eventually lead toward primates, toward apes, toward early humans, and eventually toward us. But tonight, there is no need to hurry. Millions of years remain. The Earth has time. Life has time. Evolution has time. So let the story slow down. Listen to the ancient wind. Imagine the stars above the recovering Earth. Feel the immense quiet of deep time. The dinosaurs have disappeared, but the planet has not stopped. It has simply turned another page.